Welcome to Ornaments of Grace, stories for Advent and Christmas. Our scripture today for the Wednesday, the first week of Advent, is taken from the Gospel of Matthew. Great crowds came to Jesus, having with them the lame, the blind, the deformed, the mute, and many others. They placed them at Jesus' feet, and he cured them. Dr. Tom Dooley enlisted in the Navy as a doctor after graduating from medical school. One hot July afternoon off the coast of Vietnam, his ship rescued over 1,000 refugees who had been drifting helplessly in an open boat. Many of the refugees were diseased and sick. Since Dr. Dooley was the only doctor on the ship, he had to give medical advice and aid to all of these people. He worked nonstop all day long. But what was miraculous for him was to find what a little medical aid could do for so many sick. That day, he found out something else too, something that changed the whole direction of his life. Dr. Dooley put it this way: hours later, I stopped a moment to straighten my shoulders and made another discovery, the biggest of my life. I was happy treating these people, happier than I had ever been before. When his naval ship arrived in Haiphong, at least 150,000 refugees were living in squalid conditions on the city streets. And Dr. Dooley was assigned to set up a refugee camp there. While none of his studies had prepared him for this work, he procured tents from Japan, and because the Navy only provided food and basic essentials, he then wrote to business firms in the United States for soap, vitamins, minerals, medicines. The response was immediate and generous. Commenting on the experience, Dr. Dooley remarked, "To me, that experience was like the white light of revelation. It made me proud to be a doc, proud to be an American doctor who had been privileged to witness the enormous possibility of medical aid in all its Christ-like power and simplicity." This discovery changed his life. When he got out of the Navy, he could have had a successful medical career in the best hospitals. Instead, he returned to the jungles of Asia and set up a small hospital to serve the poor and the sick. Later, he discovered that he himself had cancer, and he died at the age of 34. He never stopped glorifying God and believing in the healing power of Jesus. Dr. Tom Dooley is our fourth ornament of grace. Great crowds came to Jesus, having with them the lame, the blind, the deformed, the mute, and many others. They placed them at Jesus' feet, and he cured them. Observing the beautiful ornaments, while you cannot solve all the problems and sicknesses of the world, how can you make your home and neighborhood and country a little more just? When you have helped others, how have you discovered happiness in the experience?
Shalom World Podcasts is now available on all online platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and others.